Gable Tosti matched on Tinder. Gable wasn't her usual type, looking like a man who spends way too much time on his appearance, but he reminded her of Sam Winchester, a character in Supernatural, one of her favorite TV shows.
Who the fuck watched Supernatural? Wait, Supernatural is like those two brothers that like fight demons?
Gable opened with a raunchy and aggressively forward message, saying, "You look delicious, I want to do dirty things to you." To which Warina responds, "Does that usually work?" Gable then sends, "Can you be a freak in the sheets?" To which she says, "Probably not, depends."
For real?
I would have been like, all right, on to the next one.
Gable says, "What does it depend on?" And Warina responds, "What I've had to drink, lol." Gable keeps the conversation sexual by replying, "Let's get drunk together. I'm a porn star after a few drinks."
Oh!
Warina gives Gable her number after the two exchange a few more messages. And a week later, they meet for the first time in the Cavill Mall.
What is that? Oh, it's
They
a
spent
car.
the night together heavily drinking, and CCTV footage from multiple establishments showed them meeting, walking into a nearby beer garden, then purchasing a 6-pack of beer at a nearby bottle shop. And after their night out together, they ended up returning to the Avalon Apartments where Gable lived alone on the 14th floor. 6 images taken by Gable that night show the couple apparently laughing and smiling in the apartment and on the balcony from which Warina would plunge to her death only hours later.
What?
For whatever reason, Gable recorded the audio of his entire night with Warina, which included the entire confrontation the two would have towards the end of the night, which was later played during Gable's trial. It was later found out that Gable had a weird habit of recording his entire dates with multiple women. At some point after the two had sex, Warina can be heard becoming increasingly erratic and aggressive towards him. However, as the night progresses, Gable can be heard in the recording refusing to let her leave, and Warina's terrified screams to let her go home are silenced when he locks her outside on the balcony. During this recording, Gable can allegedly be heard choking out Warina before locking her outside.
Call them with what? I thought you lost your phone.
Exactly.
So how are you going to call anyone without your
You
phone?
stole my fucking phone.
I didn't touch your goddamn phone.
You guys fucking stole my shit.
Shit, I should
So
never...
that's why I'm fucking calling them.
Should have never given you so much to drink. I thought we were going to have fun.
Well, where's my shit?
Where's your
Where's
phone?
my shit?
What's your phone number?
Go
I'll have it.
800 fucking psycho bitch. Fucking...
I don't deserve this shit, alright? I'm a nice fucking guy.
Yeah. Nice fucking guy with a little money.
Must be on the balcony.
Well, I have shitloads of money. Why is my fucking money?
Stop.
Whoa.
Just calm down, please.
I'm not coming down
You've
because
had too much to drink, alright?
I'm not coming down because I've had so much to drink and I have shitloads of money in New Zealand. It's not funny. Shit. You know?
Calm down, please.
Do you know how I... Yeah, because no one else has money.
Do you even remember what you were doing to me like half an hour ago? It was freaking me out. You beat me up for no reason.
Exactly.
Why?
Because you said you freak.
You thought it was funny
What?
or something. It's not.
No, I told you.
In the audio, he can be heard saying to Warina that she was lucky he didn't throw her off the balcony, along with numerous other threats.
Let's go.
He's
You're
fucking...
fucking
It's not
insane.
about how you need.
You're
It's
fucking...
not about how...
Yeah, it is. You're fucking insane.
It's not about how you need. It's about how you... Give a shit now.
See, I thought you were kidding, and I've taken enough. This is fucking bullshit.
Sounds like a bad date.
You're lucky I haven't chucked you off my fucking balcony, you goddamn psycho little bitch. Who the fuck do you think I am?
For real?
Yeah.
For real.
Do you Muay Thai now? What? What? Got something to say? Say it.
Yeah.
Say it. Who the fuck do you think you are?
No!
Hmm?
No! No! No!
You're trying to kill me, huh?
No!
Why'd you try to hit me with that?
No!
Huh?
No!
If they were hot, I will let them throw me off. Okay, stop.
It's all on recording, you know? It's all being recorded.
Okay, she's crazy. Oh my god.
I would, but you've been a bad girl.
It's apparent that both Gable and Warina were very drunk, with Warina sounding a lot drunker than Gable, slurring all of her words. Warina apparently thought the only way to escape would be attempting to climb down the building, which resulted in her falling from the balcony to her death. Gable, who was 28 at the time, was arrested for her death, but was ultimately acquitted of all charges. The prosecution claimed that Gable locked Warina on his balcony following a heated argument, and when she tried to escape, presumably to a lower floor, she plummeted to her death.
Wow.
Gable's defense team said Warina was extremely intoxicated and that she had been acting irrationally before her tragic fall. Prosecutors argued that Gable had choked Warina, trapped her, and made her so afraid that she felt she had no choice but to escape at whatever cost. An audio recording of Gable's phone call with his father right after the incident was eventually released, and in it, Gable is heard telling his father that things had become violent between the pair and that he locked her on his balcony, but insisted that he did not push her.
Hello, Dad. I might have a bit of a situation. I met up with a girl for a date tonight, and she started getting really aggressive. Like, it was alright at first, and like we, had sex in bed, and then after that, like, she kept drinking, and we were both drinking, and she, like, I think she thought it was like a joke or something, but she kept like beating me up and whatever. Like, I've been walking around and there like a million cops around my building. I don't know what to do. I didn't push her or anything. I'm like just walking around the area and there's like a million cops around the area. It's really up. I don't know what to do. Like I'm walking around the area and I just see a million cops
Why are there stock photos of this guy?
around
Like,
Avalon.
what the heck?
That this is really really up. Why does this keep happening to me? Like I swear to God, I didn't push her or anything. I just chucked her out on the balcony and shut the door because she was beating me up.
According to a downstairs neighbor, loud arguments with women could be heard quite often from Gable's apartment, hinting that this kind of thing was a regular occurrence with him. Many people do believe that Gable murdered Warina, and there was public outrage when Gable was acquitted.
I feel like I was on that guy's side though, because I don't know, like the whole audio recording was like the girl sounds going crazy though. So like I can see why he got away with like all the charges and stuff. Do you guys like this? Do you want to watch more? Or
The process of going through a divorce is usually not a pleasant one, and emotions are often very mixed. For some, a divorce can be a horrible time in one's life, full of grief and sorrow. But for others, it can be a hopeful time, a fresh start. For 39-year-old Jovi Pillapil, a nurse from Sydney, Australia, her recent divorce with ex-husband Alexander Villaluna was going to be a new beginning. Jovi posted on Facebook, "New Year, New Beginnings," accompanied by a smiling photo of herself. She had since posted on her Facebook of flowers sent by secret admirers and birthday cards and gifts from her 3 children, who called her the best mother there can be, and an independent mother and woman. In March 2016, Jovi was using Tinder to find a date. Jovi is the mother of 4. She grew up in the Philippines and then moved to Auckland, New Zealand to train to be a nurse, and then she and her family would eventually move to Sydney, Australia. While on Tinder, she matched 53-year-old businessman Keith Collins. Keith had 3 children and 4 stepchildren. The two enjoyed chatting and decided to meet for a date. On March 30th, 2016, they went to dinner at a Korean barbecue restaurant. Just as they were finishing up, a man came up and put his arm around Keith. It was Jovi's ex-husband, Alexander. He asked Keith what he was doing with his wife. Keith said they were just having dinner. Then suddenly Alexander grabbed Keith by the neck with his left arm, and he used his right hand to stab him in the abdomen with a hunting knife. Jovi started screaming at him to stop, saying they were just having dinner. After stabbing Keith several times, Alexander turned his attention to his 35-year-old estranged wife. He stabbed her once in the chest and once again in the arm when she tried to defend herself. Keith had fallen to the floor and he was trying to get up. Alexander got on top of him and then using both hands, he punched the knife into his chest. He did this 5 more times. After stabbing Keith 11 times and his ex-wife twice, Alexander calmly walked out of the restaurant. Jovi began to run from the restaurant, and at first Alexander went after her, but he seemed to give up or change his mind and head back to the restaurant, where he sat by Keith's now dead body and waited for the police to arrive. He surrendered without putting up a fight to the arresting officer, and he admitted that he attacked Keith because he was having dinner with his ex-wife.
You're more than welcome to thank you. Cheers, take it.
Jovi was taken to the hospital, and while she sustained injuries, she survived the attack. Alexander and Jovi had met 9 years earlier when they were both training to be a nurse in Auckland. They were both from the Philippines. Jovi claimed that Alexander was abusive from the start of their relationship. He wouldn't let her have friends and wouldn't let her leave the house often.
Oh, come
Jovi
on.
already had 3 children from a previous relationship in 2011. She had 1 son with Alexander. 2 years before Keith was murdered, Jovi left Alexander and got a restraining order against him. In response to this, he told her that he would kill her if she ever started dating another man.
What?
He also said at a later time he would spare her life because of their son. In September of 2017, Alexander pleaded guilty to murder. When given the chance to apologize, Alexander said it was difficult to say he was sorry because he was still angry about what happened to him. It also turned out that he told the probation and parole service that Jovi blamed herself for the problems in their relationship. So according to him, she would have been happy to have been killed by him. Alexander also claimed he attacked Keith in self-defense. However, CCTV footage clearly showed that he was the aggressor. The judge said the most heinous part was that he attacked Keith while he was already on the floor bleeding to death. In October of 2017, Alexander was sentenced to 40 years in prison, and he'd have to serve at least 30 years before he could apply for parole. He'll be able to apply for parole on March 30th, 2046, when he's 74 years old.
He'll be dead by then.
On the morning of October 26th, 2018, 21-year-old Grace Mullane drove from her Essex County home to Heathrow Airport in London, where she boarded her flight to Peru. She spent the next 10 days traveling from island to island before heading on her way to Auckland, New Zealand, where she would arrive on November 30th, 2 days before her 22nd birthday. Grace was staying at
Bro, what is up with New Zealand? New Zealand seems like I thought it was like a calm country. I guess not.
a hostel where she made friends with some of the other tourists and backpackers. Grace was known for being an outgoing social butterfly. She spent the rest of the night on the 30th taking it relatively easy, and decided to start swiping on Tinder looking to meet someone, maybe make some local friends while she visited. She swiped until she connected with somebody named Jesse, and the two began to chat.
Wait, she didn't match the dog?
Grace and Jesse made plans to go on a
Man,
date the following
GG.
day, and so on December 1st, 2018, Grace's bunkmates watched as Grace got ready and left the hostel to head to her date with Jesse. A few hours went by, and at some point in the evening, Grace sent a message to a friend back home stating that the date was going really well and she felt a connection with Jesse. However, it wasn't long after this message that Grace's phone and social media activity went silent. The next day was her birthday, and many of Grace's family and friends went on to send Grace happy birthday wishes, but she never replied to any of them. And as the days went on, everybody became increasingly concerned. And so on December 5th, 2018, Grace's family reported her missing to Auckland law enforcement.
Oh.
They clarified their concern by pointing out that Grace was actually carrying 2 cell phones while she traveled, just in case there was ever an issue with one of them, so that way she would still be able to stay in touch. Both of Grace's cell phones had been going directly to voicemail as of December 2nd. Grace's father traveled to New Zealand to do some searching of his own. CCTV footage caught Grace leaving her hostel at exactly 5:37 p.m. She then walked to a bar and casino known as Sky City, which was fairly close to her hostel, and she waited there for a few moments until she's seen meeting up with and hugging Jesse. The two of them then went into Sky City for approximately 90 minutes while they had some drinks together, and things appeared to be going really well and the two appeared to be hitting it off. They continued their date onto the next bar, known as Mexican Cafe. They had a few more drinks at the Mexican Cafe, and then they continued on again to another bar known as the Blue Stone Room. While at the Blue Stone Room, things appeared to become more intimate between the two.
Oh.
They can be seen kissing multiple times before Jesse made a quick trip to the bathroom. This is the exact moment that Grace messaged her friend back home that she was having a really good time with her date. Jesse then returned, and the two eventually left the bar at 9:40 p.m. The two are seen holding hands and walking towards a building known as the City Life Hotel, where Jesse rented an apartment. The two can be seen entering the elevator of the building and exiting on the floor of Jesse's apartment. This is the last moment that Grace was seen alive.
Nice elevator.
The next morning on December 2nd, Jesse is then seen entering the elevator alone and exiting his apartment building. He's then seen
that's sus.
Purchasing a handful of cleaning supplies as well as a new large suitcase.
Whoa!
He places
What?
new purchases inside his apartment, and then he leaves the apartment again. He then jumps in a taxi and gets a ride to a local car rental facility where he rents a vehicle and heads to another bar in the area to meet up with a second Tinder date the day after murdering his previous Tinder date. This date became uncomfortable very quickly, and she decided to end things because she found him really creepy after he had been talking about the best places to hide a dead body. When the date was over, Jesse stopped by the front desk of his apartment building and asked if he could borrow a Rug Doctor carpet steam cleaning machine. He brought it up to
Okay, come on.
his apartment and spent a couple hours in there before appearing on camera again. He's then seen bringing a hotel luggage cart up to his room, and shortly after, reappearing in the elevator with the luggage cart loaded with his new suitcase and many other small suitcases.
Do you think it's like other dead body, like other parts of the body?
He then brings the luggage cart down to his rented vehicle and loads everything inside. The next morning at around 7 a.m. on December 3rd, Jesse then went to a nearby store and purchased a brand new shovel. He then returned to his apartment building just after 9 a.m. He then stopped by a random trash can and tossed out some items, and then drove to a dry cleaning service to clean some clothing, and then he took his car rental to be completely cleaned. Police caught up with Jesse a few days later and brought him in for questioning.
What? There's so much shit going on. Oh, dang.
The police believe that Jesse was involved in some way due to the substantial amount of evidence against him.
Tell us about Grace. So I was talking to Grace on Tinder. We'd matched on Friday. I saw that we'd matched the next day on Saturday.
How did the evening pan out?
Yeah, pretty good.
You're lying.
I didn't initially know that she was real.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a lot of... So have you heard of catfish?
No.
So catfishing is where someone uses your profile, or uses your photos and pretends to be you and then meets, and you're a completely different person.
Right.
And it's happened to a few people I know in Australia. And it's all over the TV. So I thought, you know what, if I meet at Sky City, at least I know that there's lots of people around. So if it is someone that it's not, then I can just walk away.
How did the evening sort of come to an end?
There was a hug and a kiss on the cheek.
No.
And thanks, no, nice meeting you. And then I said, let me know about tomorrow. And she said, okay. And then she kept walking.
Usually when they're getting interrogated, they have all the evidence. They know what's happening. They just want to hear his story, where either he's going to lie or tell the truth, which he obviously is lying.
You don't know if she's been murdered or not yet. She may be alive and well.
Okay.
But she might also be dead. Okay? And it could be that you've done it.
Hey, I just want to ask a question. Have I been arrested for something I didn't do?
You haven't been arrested, no.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Holy
They immediately obtained a search warrant for Jesse's apartment, and they began a forensic
Does it have a nice
examination.
butt?
Despite
No.
Jesse's cleaning attempts, the investigators were able to discover blood in and around the two edges of his apartment carpet using luminol. Jesse was then interviewed again on December 7th, just 2 days after his initial interview, and this was when his story to police began to change.
drove the car out to Cumu at first. I picked up a shovel from ITM at Cumu. I ended up driving towards the Waitakaries. I went into the bush. I dug a hole.
Oh,
I went and got the suitcase. And I covered the hole. And then I drove.
Where is her possessions?
I threw them in the rubbish.
Whereabouts?
Albert Park rubbish.
Right. So what items of her property have been disposed of in Albert Park?
Everything.
All of her clothing?
Everything that was in the room. Right. I was just panicking.
Did you inflict any injuries on her that caused her to die?
No.
how did you kill her though?
Did you kill Grace Mullane? Okay. And you're under arrest for the murder of Grace Mullane on or about the 2nd of December. You understand?
Jesse was charged and held in police custody, and while behind bars, police found pictures Jesse took of Grace before placing her inside the luggage that he purchased. Google search history and GPS from
Turn the
Jesse's
captions
cell phone
on?
led investigators to the Waitakere mountain ranges, where they discovered the luggage with Grace's body buried in a hole. Jesse was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum non-parole period of 17 years. During this time, 2 more victims came forward and accused Jesse of sexually assaulting them after matching with him on Tinder. In October of 2020, Jesse was convicted of 8 more charges related to these offenses.
What?
He was sentenced to serve an additional 11 years concurrently to the life sentence that he had already received. Jesse Kempson currently resides at the Auckland prison in New Zealand, where he will remain.
Oh my gosh.